You said as we began the night, Chuckster, as Dallas played without Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, this was all about the Lakers.
And the Lakers proved to what I keep saying, the Lakers stink.
Execute Order 66.
Massive trade happening in the NBA right now. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis.
A few moments later.
The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to win the #1 pick overall in next month's draft. They had never won the lottery.
When it comes to pro sports in America, the word rigged is the dirtiest word you could possibly utter. As when it comes to the NBA, NFL, they want you to think all these sports leagues on the up and up, it's a fair and equal playing field for all the teams. And the older I get, the more I question this. And look, when it comes to players on the field playing the games, that aspect of sports isn't rigged. Guys aren't throwing games missing shots on purpose, there's too much at stake. When I say basketball is rigged, the NBA is rigged, here's what I mean. The NBA is a business, they want to make money, that's their end goal to entertain fans. If they have to pull certain strings, push certain buttons, to get the league's popularity up, they'll do that. And when it comes to the most sketchy part of the NBA, it is undoubtedly the draft lottery. As you want to talk rigging something, this thing, the easiest thing to possibly rig. It's behind closed doors, nobody's allowed access. It's very, very secretive and not out and open to the public. Because of course, why is that? It's much easier to rig behind closed doors. The most infamous draft rigging was back in 1985 for the New York Knicks and a so-called frozen envelope.
The second pick in the 1985 NBA draft goes to the Indiana Pacers.
The horseshoe worked.
It might have been fixed. I don't care. I ended up where I was supposed to end up. New York needed to have a team, a strong team.
That draft lottery, even 40 years later, is still referenced as the biggest case of the NBA rigging something for a big market team. And fast forward to present day, May 12, 2025 will be a day for NBA fans that lives in infamy, as the NBA yet again put their fingers on the scale, tipped things certain ways, and they did it behind closed doors.
The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the...
The chances Dallas got the first overall pick in this year's draft was around 1%. Teams like Charlotte, Utah, Washington had much higher odds, and those teams weren't even in the top 2. Look, where there's smoke, there's definitely fire. This draft lottery it reeks of fishiness, reeks of NBA intervention.
Do you smell it? That smell. The kind of smelly smell. A smelly smell that smells smelly.
The last time Dallas had the first overall pick was back in 1981. So what are the odds of treating Luka Doncic all of a sudden, now they get the first pick for the first time in 4 years? Those odds, not great. And let's say, it's not rigged, it wasn't up and up, Dallas actually won this lottery. At the very least, it's bad optics for the NBA that it appears to be rigged. Ask me, it is rigged, this happening is not a coincidence in the slightest.
Coincidence? I think not!
And if you want to talk that Luka trade that decimated the Dallas franchise, had fans revolting, getting Cooper Flag now revives their franchise and revives their market. So what Adam Silver did right here was kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Mavs fans, now they're happy, satisfied, they have Flag. He's not Luka, but he's a pretty good consolation prize. And looking at Los Angeles, they got Luka for Anthony Davis, they're ecstatic. From a sheer business standpoint, rigging this lottery was absolute genius. And the way Adam Silver did it, it was fairly obvious, but still a genius move for the NBA as a whole, which again is an entertainment business. And if you look at recent NBA history, we're not new to this. 2019 Anthony Davis on the Pelicans, he wants a trade. The Pels GM Dell Demps is not doing it by all means. Head coach Alvin Gentry, the exact same thing. Davis is not being traded. What happens a couple weeks later? Dell Demps fired, who's hired as the GM? David Griffin, former Cavs GM. Then what happens? Anthony Davis gets his way, traded to Los Angeles. The next year's draft lottery, Zion Williamson to the Pelicans, the first overall pick.
There's something going on around here that just don't add up.
That right there is the backhand dealings in the NBA. You help the Lakers help LeBron James, good things are bound to happen. And is it just sheer coincidence David Griffin, he's the guy in charge of the Pelicans, who's associated with LeBron James back in Cleveland? Is that a coincidence, or is it more than that? Now look at this Dallas scenario. Nico Harris and Rob Pelinka, there's that Nike connection, these guys know each other. They keep the trade in the dark, Adam Silver comes in, works his magic, pulls off this deal. Now Nico in the short term, hated by Mavericks fans, reviled by Mavericks fans. The whole fan base revolts, turns on the team, and they're done with Dallas. Now, how do you fix that? Give Dallas Cooper Flagg a generational talent. This right here yet again is a clear example of Adam Silver working his magic in the NBA, tweaking things in favor of the Lakers, the biggest team in the league. You don't have this many questionable moves, questionable trades, questionable lottery picks without the NBA intervening at certain points.
R-I-G-G-E-D. Wig.
And look at someone like Dave McMenamin. This guy, an ESPN insider, kind of an NBA shill, doing PR for the entire league. As right after the draft lottery, what does the guy reference? Derrick Rose in 08 going to the Bulls with a 1.7% chance. Dave McMenamin, known NBA show Clutch Sports asset, says that draft lottery and this one, they were wild, shocking, but all legitimate.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
That right there from McMenamin is NBA PR at its finest. If it smells like a rigged lottery, looks like a rigged lottery, it is probably a rigged lottery. The odds the Dallas Mavericks one season trade Luka Doncic, their franchise superstar, in a terrible trade, then get the first overall pick with 1% odds they haven't had since 1981. The odds of all that happening are just, it's like 0.0001%, all those things happening. You have better odds getting struck by lightning, win a lottery, and getting eaten by a shark in the same day than all that happening. This right here yet again is a clear case of the NBA rigging things for certain teams and markets that do what they want. And for teams like Charlotte, Washington, even Dallas, a mid-market team, you're a farm team system for the big market teams like the Lakers. And look, if I was a Mavs fan, yes, I'd still be kind of pissed, kind of upset we traded Luka Doncic. I'd still be pissed. But getting Cooper Flagg, a generational prospect, gotta make that a little bit easier to swallow. And that right there, the entire goal. Now, looking past the Dallas fiasco, the clear rigging in that case, look at the San Antonio Spurs. This team very, very quietly got the second overall pick. And why is that important? Who's on the trade market right now asking to be traded? Giannis Antetokounmpo. On this very same day, May 12th, Giannis, the first time ever, he's open to a trade. And the teams he wants to go to are in states that have no income tax. Well, San Antonio, Texas, no income tax, tons of assets, and the second overall pick in this year's draft. That right there, as clear-cut as it gets. What the NBA wanted, the NBA got. Giannis is a Spur, Flagg's a Maverick, and Luka's a Laker. So that right there is the end of the video, and I'll say one last thing. When it comes to sports being rigged, like I said earlier, the on-the-field play, it can't really be rigged 100% foolproof. Now, off the field, the front office moves, GM moves, those things can be influenced. The draft lottery, that has always been highly suspect, and in 2025, more so than ever. Do I still love basketball, love the NBA? Of course I do. But the way this went down, it does not smell right. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.